Hello everyone, welcome to our YouTube channel Making Investments Simple, and today I would be bringing you 11 thumb rules that can help you to create wealth. So many people get confused about what is a ground rule or a thumb rule. One need to keep in mind while investing or savings, and they keep on thinking for years, and time doesn't come back. So these I have jotted down 11 points here. So let's begin here. So the very first thing you should keep in mind is income minus savings should be your expenses, and not the other way around, where people think that income be um, should be subtracted by expenses, and savings is equal to savings. This is also a very confusing thing too for many people, where people do not know the expenses are general, and how do they avoid it. But the first rule in this personal finance is that you have to invest or save money before you decide on how much you can spend. So before buying the next fancy watch or fancy mobile phone which you love to have it on your hand, you should always think about savings and invest. Saving doesn't mean to keep it in your bank account. Savings actually means to invest. It could be a mutual fund, or to an tax saving fund or something else, but not keep it idle, because money which is kept idle in your bank account is not your savings. You are not creating any wealth from it. So second point would be how much to save. So at the start of your career, you should be saving at least 10% of your post tax income. So whatever net income you get it, you have to save something for tax savings and invest in things like that. And other than that, as your income rises, the percentage of savings should also increase, say to 10% to 15%. And by the time you reach for 40 years of age, your savings should have 35%. So this the actual savings depends on your own life goals, but you should keep on savings too, rather than spending the whole amount. So another point would be the 50-20-30 rule. So while you can start saving by 10% of your post tax income, you should be angling to follow the 50-20-30. That is, not more than 50% of your income should go towards living expense. That means if you are earning 50,000 rupees, 25,000 should not be your living expense, and no less than 20% of your income should go into savings um, towards your short and long term goals, and no more than 30% should be spent on avoidable expenses like outings, eatings, etc. So 50%, more than 50%. So if your income is 50,000 rupees, your daily living expenses should not be more than 25,000. The next 20% is the income should be savings or investment towards your short term and long term goals, and the rest 30% should not exceed outings, eating out, and vacations. That's exactly how this 50-20-30 rule works. So that's about it. Another point would be how much to invest in equity. So if you're not sure about how much your savings should be in equity and how much in debt instrument, the popular thumb rule is to decide. This is the 100 minus rule. That means 100 minus the your age. So if you are 30 today, your 70% should be your in equity. Equity could mean stocks or equity mutual funds too, if you are not good in selecting stocks. So as you age, this percentage should comes down as your risk appetite also goes down. So if you are in your early 20s, if you are 20 years old, then 80% can be invested into equities, direct equities. Emergency fund. Now this is something which many people fail to understand. Emergency funds should be accumulated, especially when you are young. you should keep your emergency funds. Emergency funds are funds which might be required in case if you lose your job or something medical emergency comes up. You should have it. So ideally, it should be equal to 6 to 9 months or even 12 months of your salary, of your current living expenses, in fact. So the you can take your current salary. If it is 50,000 rupees, then you should be accumulating at least 50,000 into 9 months or into 12 months, or whatever you think is the best one, and keep this amount not in your bank account. Keep this in an arbitrage fund because of the taxation benefits. um, Arbitrage funds are treated like equity funds, but are very low risk funds, and after 1 year the taxation will be much simpler for you. So another one would be life cover. As a rule of thumb, your life cover should be equal to 10 times your annual income. So your annual income is 5 lakh rupees. Ideally your life cover should be 50 lakhs, and that's exactly, you should keep on increasing it. And it would be good if you keep on increasing it every 5 or 10 years, depending on how many dependents you are, and what 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 kind of benefit you want to give to your family members or nominees once you are not away, once you are not there. How much to save for retirement? Now, most experts believe that your retirement corpus should be 30 times your annual income to make room for inflation. So if your income is annual income is 5 lakh rupees, you should ideally be 30 times from that. So 30 into 5 would be 30 into 5 would be 150. Oh, okay, 1 crore. 1 crore 50 lakhs, and that's from the inflation point of view. Now, this amount might look very big right now, but if you can accumulate and invest into good equities, or good stocks or mutual funds, or have a good strategies in stock markets, you can easily achieve this without much of a hassle. And so the best thing is to do is a target in mind, and then work backwards with a percentage return every month, and then it will be easier for you. Especially, as I told you, my personal suggestion would be to keep on accumulating your ELSS funds, equity linked savings schemes funds, which would be very good for your retirement benefits. And please do not, if you are a working professional, please do not touch your provident fund earnings, because that is also that plus your ELSS returns will be a huge amount for your retirement corpus. Again, these are just two ways of accumulating it. There could be other ways too, like small cap fund or direct equities, etc. Getting a car. Now that your savings have been planned, now few expenses that most young professionals have, like having a car. The rule of the thumb for buying a vehicle is 24/10. So that is, you should make a down payment of at least 20% upfront. The financing you take it should not be more than for 4 years, and the monthly EMI towards the car loan should be less than 10% of your monthly income. So keep that calculation in mind and then think about it. Getting a house. We all dream of owning a house, and again you should pay, the same goes with the thumb rule. You should pay 20% of the price as down payment. Total EMIs you should pay should not be over 50% of your income, and home loan EMI should be under 30% of the income. Given the current interest rates on home loan, the value of the house you can afford comes to about 4.5 to 5 times your annual income. That's pretty much your the thing. So diversification. While a lot of investors tend to invest in as many as 25 mutual funds in the hope of diversifying their investments, this is not advisable. You should hold about 10 different funds. Investing in any more spreads your funds too thin and only giving marginal benefits or diversification compared to loss in risk adjusted return. So please keep it restricted to at least 10 or maximum 12 different funds. So yeah, that's my view on this. And these 11 thumb rules are very good, which you can actually keep it in mind before you are thinking about investing, or before you even start investing. So hope you enjoyed this video and my personal views on this topic. If you have any comments or suggestions on my videos, please feel free to write. I'll be happy to answer them. Thank you, and I will see you again on my next video.